Listen, warrior, there's a battle raging within you. It's not fought with guns or blades, but in the quiet of your chest. Your heart races when someone disrespects you. Your mind spirals when a message goes unanswered. A single word can ruin your day. Yet you smile, nod, and say you're fine. Inside, you're wrestling. This is the emotional war most men fight silently. The truth most lose. They react rashly. They explode. They crumble. Not because they're weak, but because no one taught them to stay calm in the storm. You've seen men like this, haven't you? Some men walk through chaos without flinching. They hold their emotions steady, while others unravel. They're not cold or numb. They're unshakable. They weren't born this way, they forged themselves. This video shares 9 Stoic habits to master your emotions with unshakable control. Not superficial strength, not pretense, but a deep inner resilience. The kind that doesn't need validation, revenge, or attention. To start, grasp this: we suffer more in our minds than in reality. Seneca said it, and he was right. We overthink, we overreact, we imagine pain before it arrives. To be emotionally unshakable, stop letting your imagination run the show. You don't have to feel every jab thrown your way. You don't need to counter every insult. You don't have to carry every emotion that knocks. What you need is discipline, not the kind that makes you a machine, but the kind that sets you free. Stoicism doesn't kill your emotions. It teaches you not to be their slave. It lifts you above the noise. It gives you a rare, almost sacred power to stand in chaos and choose peace. It shows you how to walk away without regret, to be silent and still win. Most crucially, it shows you how to win the battles no one sees. You don't break because you feel too much, but you'll stay trapped if you don't learn to feel less when it counts. That's what can destroy you. These 9 Stoic habits won't make you someone else. They reveal the man buried under layers of emotion, turmoil, and pressure. If you've ever thought, I can't let go, why am I so reactive? I wish I could be calm like others. This is for you. Watch every second. Don't skip. Like the video if it resonates. Share your thoughts below. If you're ready to become the strongest version of yourself, subscribe now and share this with someone who needs it. Leave this affirmation in the comments: I control my emotions. They don't control me. Let's begin. First, act like it's not personal, even when it feels that way. Someone insults you, lies, or disrespects you, and your chest tightens. Your instinct is to defend, strike back, set them straight. But Stoicism teaches, if you're hurt by something external, the pain comes not from it, but from your judgment of it. Marcus Aurelius. What does that mean? The event doesn't always wound you. Your perception of it does. Most men are fragile because their identity is brittle. Someone disagrees. They feel attacked. Someone dislikes them. They feel rejected. A critique of their work feels like a verdict on their worth. The Stoic habit here is to detach your ego from the moment, not because it's easy, but because it's vital for peace. When someone lashes out, that's their chaos, not your value. They're exposing their inner turmoil, not your worth. Instead of reacting emotionally, step back, pause, and view the situation like an outsider. Ask, is this really about me, or are they projecting their pain? Will this matter in 24 hours? The space between their insult and your response, that's where freedom lies. By not taking everything personally, you unlock a new level of emotional strength. You become a man who listens calmly, speaks deliberately, and doesn't react just to react. You don't shrink. You don't explode. You observe and choose a response with power, not emotion. It's tough at first, but with practice, you grow stronger. When you stop making every slight about you, you truly own yourself. That's the Stoic paradox. So, next time someone tries to drag you into drama, arguments, or emotional chaos, act like it's not personal, even if it feels that way. Second, kill emotional speed. Think slower. When anger, anxiety, or hurt hits you all at once, before your mind can process, your mouth reacts. You say something sharp, slam a door, block someone, then regret it minutes later. That's emotional speed stealing your pause. It pulls you from trigger to reaction without time to think. Stoicism teaches, assume people make mistakes without malice. As Marcus Aurelius advised, slow down not just your words, but your judgments, your anger, your reactions. When someone says something hurtful, ask, must I respond right now? What if I wait 24 hours? You don't need to act on every emotion the moment it arises. Your strength lies in delay. Your mind is quick, but wisdom is slow. To be emotionally unshakable, you must extinguish the speed that steals your peace. Picture someone insulting you. You pose. Say nothing. Breathe deeply. Walk away and think it through. By the time you decide how to respond, you often find you no longer care. That's maturity. Emotions make everything feel urgent, but urgency is the enemy of peace. Those first 10 seconds of emotion are just noise. Wait. Move slowly, and your mind filters out the chaos. You realize most things aren't worth reacting to. Most arguments are traps. Emotions are like passing weather. This doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strategic, choosing peace over pride. True control is when your heart burns, but your words flow like calm water. Let others be loud, critical, or rushed. You move quietly. You speak when you've thought it through. You act with purpose. Not bunits. That's emotional maturity, and it makes you untouchable. Next time emotions surge, don't meet them at the door. Let them wait. Sit and cool off. Then decide. Write this affirmation in the comments. I slow down to stay in control. Third, stop explaining yourself. You feel misunderstood, judged. Your first instinct is to clarify, prove, show them you're not what they think. But Stoicism doesn't demand you be understood. It demands you be at peace with being misunderstood. Don't waste breath arguing what a good man is. Just be one. Marcus Aurelius said it. You owe no one a performance. Most people asking for explanations aren't seeking truth. They're hunting for weakness. Even your best response will be twisted. That's why refusing to explain is powerful. This doesn't mean you dodge truth. It means your actions speak louder than any defense. You don't explain your maturity, you live it. You don't justify your silence, you protect it. You don't excuse your choices, you own them. Those who value you don't need your words. Those who don't, won't hear them. Why drain your strength chasing approval in a world that feeds on your doubts? People will craft their own stories about you. No matter what you say, let them misunderstand. Assume. Whisper. You keep growing, healing, moving forward. Every second spent explaining to someone with a fixed opinion steals your peace. Speak less. Do more. Let your life be your answer. This isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. When you stop needing to explain, you're truly free. Free from rules. Free from chasing acceptance. Free from being controlled by others' thoughts. You know who you are, what you stand for. You don't need an audience to feel real. Don't shrink for others. Don't turn your worth into words. Your peace needs no script. Fourth, build an inner fortress no one can breach. You enter a room. Feel the energy shift. Someone glares at you. Someone mocks your ideas. You smile. But inside, a piece of you cracks. You go home, replaying it all night. That's because most men live with emotions too exposed, too open, vulnerable in the wrong way. You may not show it, but deep down, every look, word, or reaction hits hard. That's not weakness. It's human. But Stoicism offers a shield not of stone, but of inner boundaries. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You control your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you find strength. They can say what they want, but they can't touch your core unless you let them in." How do you build this fortress? Decide your peace isn't up for public debate. Stop handing your self-worth to those who don't value themselves. Stop begging for emotional permission from those who don't care. Your fortress rises in silence. Every time you don't react when provoked. Every time you let others' opinions slide off your soul like rain on a roof. Every time you tell yourself, "This doesn't belong to me." You don't need to harden your heart. Just guard your spirit. This isn't pretending you're not hurt. It's choosing what gets to enter your mind. Your mind is sacred ground. Not everyone deserves to walk there. Not everyone warrants your reaction. Not everyone should hold the key to your emotions. Practice this. When someone tries to guilt you, picture your fortress. When they play games, feel its walls. When they belittle you, let your fortress absorb the blow so you don't have to. The world won't stop testing you, but that doesn't mean you keep bleeding. Each time you let nonsense pass without breaking, you grow stronger. You don't stop caring, you stop crumbling. The stronger your inner fortress, the more unbreakable you become. Let them talk. Judge. Provoke. Your walls stand on peace, truth, and discipline. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I guard my peace behind invisible walls. Fifth, train to face disrespect like a soldier preparing for battle. No one tells you this, but to master emotions, expect disrespect. It will come from friends, colleagues, strangers online, even those you've helped most. When it hits, you have two choices: be shocked, hurt, and react poorly, or be trained, ready, and calm. Stoicism chooses the second path. Each morning, tell yourself, today, I may meet arrogance, deceit, envy, ingratitude. Marcus Aurelius said this not to be cynical, but to be prepared. You don't prepare for peace, you prepare for war. So when peace breaks, you don't break with it. To be untouchable. Anticipate low blows. Expect misunderstandings. Expect unfair treatment. When it comes, you won't flinch. You'll respond like a seasoned warrior. Disrespect isn't personal, it's a challenge. The victors aren't the loudest or strongest, but the calmest. You don't win by raging. You win by standing firm. Think of it this way. Someone throws a stone at you. You can throw it back or let it hit your armor and fall harmlessly. Your armor is your self-worth. Knowing your value doesn't shrink because others can't see it. You don't need to shout to prove yourself. You don't need to explain your worth more. You stand tall like a warrior in the storm. Each time you're disrespected, train your response. Stay silent. Stand firm. Stay calm. You'll notice something. Those who can't shake you will either respect you or walk away frustrated. Either way, you win. It's not always fair. But that's why you train not for comfort, not for praise, but for mastery. Sixth, don't chase feeling better. Focus on thinking better. You feel down, stressed, anxious, heartbroken, or exhausted. Like most, you seek relief or distraction. Uninspiring video. Scrolling social media for a fleeting lift that leaves you emptier. Why? You don't need to feel better. You need to think better. Happiness lies in how you think, not what you feel. Marcus Aurelius knew this. Emotions aren't the enemy, but relying on them to feel okay is where we falter. Stoics get it. Emotions are waves, but thoughts are the ship. You can't control every feeling, but you can train your thoughts to stay steady. This means, instead of asking why you feel this way, ask what thought sparked the feeling. Maybe you're angry because you expected more from someone. Maybe you're sad because you believed things would turn out differently. In both cases, the thought fuels the pain, rather than numbing emotions. Shift the perspective behind them. When you move from focusing on feelings to examining thoughts, you unlock emotional clarity. You stop chasing highs. You stop fearing lows. You become the observer of your mind, not its victim. Here's a Stoic practice. When a strong emotion hits, don't run from it. Don't try to fix it. Sit with it. Name the thought behind the emotion. Then, ask, is this thought wise or just noise? Most of our pain doesn't come from reality, but from unchecked thoughts we never challenge. You don't need an emotional escape. You need mental discipline. Train your mind to think clearly, and peace will follow naturally. Train it to think slowly, and anxiety will release its grip. Train it to think deeply, and emotions will serve you, not sabotage you. Emotions are signals, but thoughts steer the ship. So don't chase fleeting relief. Build a mind that makes you stronger. That's the essence of Stoicism. Seventh, stop assigning meaning to every emotion. You wake up anxious. You feel off, down, or frustrated, and you start analyzing. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? Something bad must be coming. But here's the truth no one tells you. Not every emotion needs a story. Some are just passing energy, chemical shifts. Like weather in your body, you don't have to turn them into a narrative. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." This applies to emotions too. We suffer not from feeling too much, but from over-interpreting what we feel. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you're just human. But your mind starts weaving stories. I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. I'm failing at life. Those aren't emotions, they're judgments layered on top. The Stoic practice is simple: observe. Don't cling. You can feel sad without thinking you're broken. You can feel anxious without believing doom is certain. You can feel frustrated without seeing it as a moral flaw. Treat emotions like cloud passing by. Notice them. Accept them. But don't label them. When you stop making every feeling a story, you find freedom. You realize some emotions come for no reason and aren't worth a reaction. You're allowed to feel off and still be okay. This isn't emotional numbness, it's emotional wisdom. You can say, "I'm down today," and that's fine. I don't know why, but it'll pass. It doesn't define me. When you stop giving emotions the power to write your story, they lose their grip. That's how you build resilience, not by being numb, but by not letting every feeling shape who you are. Let emotions come and go, but don't hand them the pen to write your life. That's your job. You decide what defines you. Fleeting feelings aren't the whole truth. Leave this affirmation in the comments: I feel emotions, but they don't define me. 8. Embrace silence and discomfort deliberately. Most men can't stand quiet moments. When silence hits, they reach for noise music, phones, social media, anything to fill the void. But that void is where strength is forged. Silence and discomfort aren't enemies, they're your training ground. Epictetus said, "Hardship reveals a man's character. When challenged, see it as a chance to grow." To be emotionally unshakable, you must step into what others avoid. When you sit in silence, you hear your true thoughts, not those buried under distractions. When you face discomfort, hunger, loneliness, rejection, you build resilience. No pep talk can give you. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from facing the fire. Peace doesn't come from dodging pain. It comes from walking through it without fear, not to suffer, but to train. Spend 10 minutes daily in silence. No phone, no music, just you and your breath. At first, your thoughts will be loud, but they'll settle. That's when clarity speaks. Then, practice enduring discomfort. Take a cold shower. Say no when you want to please. Don't indulge every craving, sit with it. Speak truth even when your voice shakes. These small acts rewire your brain to say, "I don't need comfort to feel secure." They teach you discomfort doesn't destroy you, it shapes you. When you stop fearing silence or pain, you become untouchable. No one can manipulate you with loneliness, pressure, or chaos. You've trained for it. That's what Stoics did, practiced poverty, rejection, hunger, silence, not out of weakness, but to be ready. So train in discomfort, deliberately, not to boast or suffer, but because each time you endure without panic, you forge emotional armor others only pretend to have. 9th, study every emotional lapse like a detective. You lose your cool. Say something in anger. Then spiral. What do you do next? Most men just feel guilty or ignore it. Mastering emotions isn't about never failing, it's about learning from every stumble. Seneca said, "A gem isn't polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When emotions overtake you, investigate. Be a detective of your mind. Ask, what triggered me? What belief was I holding? What could I do differently? See each outburst not as failure, but as data. Every reaction reveals a part of you that needs attention. Growth. Say someone disrespects you, and you snap. Instead of justifying it, analyze. Maybe the trigger wasn't their words, but your belief that you must react to be respected. That's not their fault. It's your inner work. This habit drives real change. Each reaction becomes a lesson, each mistake a message. Write it down. Yes, keep a journal. When you study your emotional patterns like a detective, you see which settings unbalance you, who pushes your buttons, what thoughts spark chaos. Awareness is power because what you understand, you can transform. Soon, you'll catch yourself before reacting. You'll feel emotions rising. But instead of being swept away, you'll observe. You'll think, here it is again. Then breathe. Pause. Redirect. That's how Stoicism works. It's not about perfection. It's about progress with precision. You don't become untouchable by ignoring emotions. You become untouchable by knowing them better than anyone else. So stop judging yourself when you slip. Study your patterns like your peace depends on it, because it does. Leave this affirmation in the comments. Every reaction is a map to greater control. In a world of chaos, anger, and noise, stillness is rebellion. It's the quiet revolution inside you. You've learned 9 Stoic habits that, if practiced daily, won't just guard your peace, they'll make you formidable. You won't be swayed by every slight. You won't hand your emotions to those who don't deserve them. You won't collapse when life gets loud. Instead, you'll move with calm. You'll respond with wisdom. You'll carry silence like a blade. And people will notice. They'll wonder why they can't provoke you. They'll be unsettled by your peace. They'll sense something rare in the calm majesty. That's the power of inner stillness. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It simply is. You don't need to overpower others. You need to master yourself. And when you do, you become the most dangerous kind of man. A man who feels deeply but is guided by reason. A man who walks through storms with dry feet. A man who doesn't react, he responds. Let the world chase attention. You choose discipline. Let the world fracture. You stay whole. This is your new way of living. Like, comment, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe. Leave this final affirmation in the comments. My calmness is my strength.